and then next year I think we'll start adding more to the list because we really love doing them. We love being out there and love hanging out with all the fans. It's really energizing, and it's a great way to say thanks in person to giving me such a great life.
No, of course, totally. That sounds exciting. It would be really awesome just to have you in Scotland. It'd be really smart. Cool. Are you quite happy for me to just a wee introduction before we chat? I know time. I know I'm one of loads of, so I'm just going to fire in. So good afternoon, Glasgow Comic Con. It's Jeff of the Brigaders, and I'm overwhelmed to be joined by none other than co-creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Kevin Eastman.
Hey, great to be here, Cowabunga. Nice to be here, hanging out with you.
No, thank you for joining us. Hey, so how are things? How are you getting on?
Things are been just wonderfully awesome, and meaning after 3 years of pretty solid and intense work, we finished Last Ronin. Issue 5 just came out. Here in the States about a month ago, and it's been received well. Nobody's, I haven't got death threats or anything yet.
Yeah.
Yet, no. It's been received pretty well, and thanks to all the fans that waited. There was a number of delays throughout the series, and we wanted to, the guys and me wanted to make it perfect. So there were some delays, but it's out, and yeah, we're just back doing shows again, comic conventions again. We've done two this year, and we've got about I think 3 more left for this year, 3 or 4 more left, and so it's great to be back out visiting with the fans, and getting to thank them in person for giving me such an awesome job and such an awesome life. I really appreciate it.
That's amazing. So yeah, the Last Ronin was incredible from start to finish. I think I don't know anybody that hasn't absolutely fallen in love with it. How did you find that as a obviously you created these characters and you've moved them through large portions of their being, but obviously this is something completely different.
Yeah, it was the fun part about Last Ronin. It was the original inspiration. Pete and I wrote the sketched the outline of what would become the Last Ronin in 1987. It was around at a time when we just finished up a big story arc. We were trying to think of, well, where do we take the Turtles next? And we decided we'd look 30 years down the road, which at that time, 87, it would have been 2017. And let's, sort of create the final story, if you will, and then that'll give us something to navigate towards. As things happened, the toys happened around that time, and the cartoon shows and the movies that we worked over on all of those things, and so it kept getting delayed, and then suddenly it's 30 years later, and we never finished it. And I had been working with IDW, Tom Waltz and the whole team at IDW on the new series that started in 2011, and as we were approaching issue 100 of that series, Tom and I were sort of discussing, well, where do we go from here? And I said, well, I've got this story that I've been noodling around with a little bit, something that Pete and I wrote in 1987, and I think it's a great time to bring that out and then look 20, 25 years in the future from right here and now in the IDW series and do it. And I had come up at that time. I said I wanted to call it The Last Ronin, and I wanted this and this and this. So Tom and I beat the story out from there, and it just seemed to be all things collided, and one of those Tetris games where the timing was perfect to jump into a story like that. The fans were ready and eager for it, and we were eager to do it creatively, so of course.
I was going to say, because there's sorry, my dog's barking in the background. There's there's been a trend recently, and maybe the last couple of years, about these sort of, let's take a story, let's take a property and move it to into the future to see where these characters end up. And it's quite fascinating to hear that that's something you'd been playing with for 30 plus years,
Yeah, it was, and it was really funny because we laughed in the when Tom and I started talking about Last Ronin, it was 2018, which was a year after Pete and I had set the original concept. It was 30 years had passed, 31 years have passed. So it's like 87 and 2017, and we started thinking about it in 2000. So it was just it's not an original idea of doing that, looking into the future and then and playing with with that kind of concept. But for our characters, it was a
Yeah.
fresh idea, so we really enjoyed doing it, and it was just really creatively satisfying. And not only continuing to work with Tom, who's my best bud, and we write a lot of stuff together, paying homage to what Peter and I did originally. Who's my always Turtles wouldn't be Turtles without Peter Laird and
Cool.
everything that we did. And then getting to work with artists like the Escorza brothers and Ben Bishop and Luis Antonio Delgado, who colored everything. It was just a wonderful team, and they worked so hard to bring it to life. And then again, the fans who were patient and waiting and waiting forever.
It was worth the wait, man. It was worth the wait. So what's next? What have you got? What's in the pipeline?
Actually, Tom and I, as we're getting to the end of Last Ronin, we had an idea that actually Tom, we wanted to jump back into the ongoing series. Not that we'd left it, but when we got to issue 100, the incredible Sophie Campbell came in, and she took over as head writer, and she's been doing such an incredible job, with all the characters and all the new characters and sort of the levels and environment she built within Mutant Town, within the bigger structure of New York. But we knew that we wanted to come back at some point and pick back up on some of the elements, like the Pantheon and stuff like that we did pre-issue 100, and blend both of those worlds together. So Tom and I jumped back to it's a new series called the Armageddon Game, an ongoing series, and I'm still doing covers and we're still working.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. And then I had this independent project called Drawing Blood that was David Avalone and I created. We did 2 Kickstarters, published the first 4 issues, and we're completing the first 4 issues. We're running late on that because Ben Bishop was our series artist for Drawing Blood, and I stole him from there to bring him into Last Ronin for the work he did there. Now we're going to finish that. So it's it's a few Marvel covers, a few DC covers, a lot of personal, some independent work, and then always Turtles, which is always a blast.
That's amazing. It's really exciting. Yeah, I don't think I've got much time with you, I'm afraid. It's so nice. It's so nice to chat to you. I wanted to ask a wee bit of a personal question, and this is the second time we've had in the show that I've been able to chat to you. It's amazing. I really enjoyed your cover on last year's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle for Pride Month for June. You did I just for anyone that's seen it, I will make sure it's shared on this video at some point. But it was the one with the rainbow bandana. I wanted to know, I wanted to know how you got involved in that and where that had come from.
Well, it was just support of all things Pride wise. It's just been, we have friends and family, and it's an important part of all our life, and that, everybody needs to be represented. And it was one of those things that when it was coming up on Pride Celebration Month, and it dawned on me, I was coming up with this idea for a cover, and I just realized, the turtles are green, and then you've got every color in the rainbow of the LGBTQ community in the turtles. And so I just said, I did it, and with everyone's blessing and support, because it's one of those, I said it, look, this is what I want to do for cover. Nickelodeon was thumbs up, and IDW thumbs up, and everybody was like, this is awesome. But it was just a happy accident, and I mean that in the best possible sense. It was something that struck me. I thought it was great. It was so important in representation for the entire community, and it just worked perfectly. And man, what an honor to be able to show my support, show the Turtles support and support for that community. So it's very, very important.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. I really look forward to catching you in Scotland or in the UK at some point. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, definitely, and both times. So yeah, we'll do this again. Let's keep in touch, and it's always great to bounce back and catch up and see how things are going. But I wish we could be there this year for for the show there, but we will get there one of these years. Like I said, earlier, that we're just dipping our toe back into traveling again and all that. But it's things are going great so far, so we really look forward to getting back out there and seeing the fans in person, because that's that makes my heart happy. It's such a wonderful experience to be there with the people that have supported us all these years and stuff. So it means the world to me, and look forward to doing it. We can do next time. We'll have the interview. We'll do it in person.
Absolutely. I will hold you to that, man. I will hold you to that. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Absolute pleasure talking to you. Right. Talk soon. Take care.